UFC Fight Night Fight Island 6 Ortega versus the Korean Zombie has a bunch of guys on the prelims of its card that are very dangerous, and you've got to watch out for them. There's a bunch of young, talented prospects coming up. Some of them aren't even young. They've just waited a hell of a long time to get here, so we're going to go through all of them right now, telling you guys the fighters to watch out for at UFC Fight Night Fight Island 6, starting with, let's not waste any more time, it's actually on the main card, then we'll move to the prelims. Jonathan Martinez, Jonathan the Dragon Martinez. I don't understand why. It's a pretty lame nickname if you ask me, so I'm actually he's off this video. I'm not covering him. I'm actually going to cover him though. Jonathan Martinez, dangerous guy. Apparently he's had more street fights than Jorge Masvidal, and watching him explain himself on that, I don't actually believe him, but you know what I mean, like maybe he does. Maybe he's just one of those savage guys that you don't expect it from, but who knows? He's a dangerous guy in the octagon, we know that much. Regardless of his stories outside of the octagon, he's dangerous in there, and he has good wins over his past 4 fights. He beat Andre Ewell. That's right, I said it. He beat Andre Ewell. I don't care about a split decision to Andre Ewell. I don't care if everyone thinks that Andre Ewell won. I don't care if they raised his hand. Everyone thinks Jonathan Martinez got the job done, in my opinion. I think he did very clearly, so I'm counting it as a win. Big win over Andre Ewell, and Andre Ewell's a dangerous guy who just pieced up Erwin Rivera and made it look easy. Had a similar performance than Giga Chikadze did against Erwin Rivera as well, so that shows what level Andre Ewell is. Dangerous long bantamweight. And listen, man, Jonathan Martinez went out there, got the job done. He seems to be really blossoming. He took his first fight in the UFC against Andre Sukumtar and lost. I need to be very clear and say that that's not okay with me, okay? That's where we're going to start this video right now on Jonathan Martinez. That's not okay with me. You don't lose to Andre Sukumtar. Not if you want to be in the UFC and want to make a real statement for yourself. And I checked. Surely there's some kind of excuse. And I realized, yes, there is an excuse. He took the fight on short notice after 2 cancelled bouts due to him pulling out of one of them. Then his opponent pulling out of another one. He was off for about a year. Until then, over a year before he got his fight against Sukumtar and took it on short notice. So you know what? I'll give him a bit of an excuse, but it's still Andre Sukumtar. Beat him drunk. Please beat him drunk. I don't understand, but still, he lost to Andre Sukumtar, bounced right back against Weili Zhang, got the job done there by unanimous decision. Not the best win in the world, but a bounce-back win. Ping Wang Lee was 15-4 at the time, destroyed him in the 3rd round with a brutal knee, and that was after looking good in the first 2 as well. He's not getting finishes after, like, losing the entire fight and then coming back with a big win. Like, he's really putting on good performances until the finish as well. He had a great performance against Ping Wang Lee. Good fight, though. Ping Wang Lee was definitely in it, made it a bit competitive, but still, eventually Martinez caught him with that knee, got the job done. Andre Ewell, great performance there, hurt him to the body. Andre Ewell also broke his arm in that fight, I believe, so kind of got to give credit to both men, but Martinez got the job done and basically whooped up on him pretty clearly for 2 of those rounds. But still, moving on to Frankie Saenz. Again, not the best name in the world, but a good name, and Martinez toyed with him. Here's the thing when you get given bad names. You got to make them look like bad names, and that's exactly what Martinez did to Frankie Saenz. You should have got a good win against him, and he went out there and did, and basically dismantled him. Could have been stopped at the end of the second, but I get it. Saenz was still getting back up. Then eventually, Martinez was just too much for him, got the flying knee to ground and pound after some brutal head kicks in that fight as well. I like Jonathan Martinez. He's taking on Thomas Almeida in the upcoming bout. A lot of people are going with Thomas Almeida on this one. I think I'm going to go with the underdog, Jonathan Martinez. He might not even be an underdog. I might have just lied. I'm sure the odds are very close though, because Almeida's a dangerous guy, but he's coming back after a long layoff. I feel as though Almeida is going to walk right into Martinez's game plan. Oh, Almeida, you're a scrappy guy on the feet. Okay, well, here's Jonathan Martinez. That's exactly what he wants from you. Now, could we find out that Thomas Almeida is still at the top of the game and barely ranked level? Because let's be real, he lost a decision to Jimmy Rivera. You know, no harm done there. Jimmy Rivera is a dangerous opponent. Even Cody Stamann just lost a decision to Jimmy Rivera. Lost to Cody Garbrandt, lost to Rob Font. These are all ranked guys in the bantamweight division right now. If Thomas Almeida went away and all of these guys just sort of fading into nothingness, I'd have no problems picking against him in this fight, but they're still around, which gives some credibility to the losses. I want Almeida to bounce back just because I feel like it's very unlucky when you get a bunch of injuries back to back to back like that and they keep you out of fights. And then if you come back and lose, you're gone. I think that would be a little bit unfortunate for him, but I still think that Martinez is going to go out there, get the job done. If Rob Font can land a head kick on you, I like Rob Font, but Qatar says it the best himself. Rob Font doesn't care about fighting. He'll eat whatever he wants. Whenever he needs a bit of money, he'll sign to fight someone. And he went out there and really did piece up Thomas Almeida badly with a head kick in the second round. UFC 220, Boston, Miocic versus Ngannou. It was a great fight, but still. Almeida, I think, has just taken a little bit. When you're the guy that, I'm the guy that comes forward and I get aggressive and I put it in people's faces and I back them up and I land volume. Well done. But, like, when you get KO'd twice, it's hard for you now. Because unless Almeida's going to come out there and be a little bit more technical and skirt around the outside, I don't know what he's going to do. Because when you're the guy that takes the punishment and keeps coming forward and puts it on people, and then you don't take the punishment anymore and you start getting chinned, it's a little bit of a problem. So I think I'm going to go with Martinez getting a head kick finish in the second round by TKO, much like Rob Font did. Moving on up the card, Mateusz Gamrot. Great fighter out of KSW. I've been waiting for this guy to compete in such a long time. So many times. 17-0. He keeps winning bouts, and I'm like, okay, the UFC will sign him. They just signed a guy who's 4-2. They'll sign Mateusz Gamrot. He's fucking, what is he now, 17-0? Sorry, I think I just read it and then ignored it. Yes, 17-0 overall. Every single time he got a good win, you know, he would just destroy someone. Like he would beat, I'm not even going to attempt that name, but it's got a bunch of, there's not enough vowels in that, man. Suzuki Kowalski, 9-1, beats him. I thought, you know what, he's going to get in the UFC after this one. Doesn't get in the UFC, 24-4. He'll probably get in the UFC after that one. Doesn't get in the UFC. Why do these people have to go through so many hurdles to get to 17-0 and train out of a respectable team in American Top Team? But some woman happens to have a neutral 2-2 record. Sign her up! Sign her up! We need her in. Like, we need guys right now. I don't know why they would not sign him, but fair enough, they're signing absolute cans, but they refuse to sign this guy for so long. But I actually think it's going to be a benefit to him, because sometimes fighting on a regional scene, you can get good experience against guys that you would not normally get. Like, he's fought for 4 rounds, he's had 5-round main events before, which is something that a lot of guys before they get to the UFC don't get to experience, which is a very valuable bit of experience as well, to be able to go 5 rounds. A lot of times when you see a prospect, I kind of want them to go 5 rounds before they get in the UFC. I want title elimination bouts to go 5 rounds before they fight a champion. And I kind of want a prospect to be signed for a 5-rounder in the main event of a regional show before he gets signed to the UFC. But listen, Mateusz Gamrot has been destroying guys. I think he'll get the job done. 29 years of age. Still young. Still got his prime. It's actually probably maybe the best time. If he goes undefeated now, he can make a good run of things in the UFC. He's not going to be defending the belt for very long. But still, it depends how quickly they jump him up those rankings, I guess. But he's got a good matchup against Kutateladze, who's a dangerous guy himself. 11-2. Very good on a something fight win streak right now. I believe it is a 7-fight win streak, 8-fight win streak right now over good guys. Got the job done over a bunch of them with KOs, doctor stoppage, KOs in the second round with a knee, KO in the third round by ground and pound. So he's not single dimensional. He's won decisions against good opponents as well. Different level opponents than Mateusz Gamrot has taken on, because I look at some of the names that Mateusz Gamrot has taken on, and there's some dangerous guys. Okay, 28-6, 21-7, 24-4, 9-1, 23-6, 23-5, 20-8, 12-3, 18-0, 16-3, 12-3. How many more do I need to say? Why is he not signed yet, man? 13-4, 15-7, 9-1, no signing. Heaven forbid. I'm not even gonna say it. It's just pathetic sometimes how guys don't get signed for so long. Like, he had to jump between promotions. He whooped up on KSW so bad, they said, oh, dude, go to Poznan. Just get it out of the way. And then come back to KSW. And then, oh, dude, I don't know, man. Just whooped up on KSW the entire time. Great fighter, great style. I think he'll go out there and get the job done against Guram Kutateladze. Kutateladze's a dangerous guy. And there's a lot of live underdogs on this card, don't get me wrong. But Gamrot ain't going to lose this one. This is Gamrot's easiest fight out of his last 10. That's not a joke. This might be his easiest fight out of the last 10. So does the UFC have the best fighters? Apparently not, because you're not signing any of them and you're leaving them on regional shows. I don't understand. But still, Mateusz Gamrot's going to get the job done. Moving on up the card to someone else. Said Nurmagomedov. Team Khabib fans will be very happy with this one. I've managed to mention him. Great performances throughout his career. Lost to Nurmagomedov, which is no shame done. 6-0 guy at the time, now 17-2. Dangerous guy moving up the record. Lost in the UFC, now bouncing back in ACA against decently good opponents as well. 11-3, 11-5, 15-3. So even his loss on his record in Said Nurmagomedov isn't too bad. He lost again to Raoni Barcelos, by the way. But again, Raoni Barcelos might go on to challenge for the belt. Like, Raoni Barcelos is a dangerous guy in that division. I don't know why he's been so inactive recently. I guess because he's Brazilian and the Rona's going round, so of course he's going to have it. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But listen, he hasn't fought since he fought Said Nurmagomedov all the way back in December of last year. Beat him there by decision, but I will say this. You score that fight nowadays. I picked Raoni Barcelos to win back then. I thought this is a live underdog against Said. I'm going to get the job done on him. I think he's going to go out there and win. That fight is scored nowadays. Said probably wins it. He outlanded him. He landed good shots. He landed better shots, in my opinion, in that fight. Now, Raoni landed some good shots as well, but Raoni won that fight based on a couple of takedowns that won him some of those rounds. Takedowns are looked upon very differently nowadays. Okay, very, very differently. And a lot of those cage control moments that he had against Said won't be scored as highly nowadays. So I think if you scored the Said versus Barcelos fight today, a lot of people would have Said. I think a lot of people thought Raoni did the job in the first time. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong. A lot of people gave it to Raoni, but you score that again today. I think you could see a split decision, some going to Said, but Raoni Barcelos is a dangerous guy. Very dangerous indeed, and Said has beat good opponents, 12-2, 17-4, 10-3. He's looked good against all of them. Amazing. He looked amazing against... sorry, I just read out Raoni Barcelos' resume. 12-1, 11-4, 21-6, 16-4, 16-3, 11-2, 25-8. How many more times? 8-2 in his third ever fight. I mean, this is the kind of resume that I'm looking for out of a Dagestani guy by the name of Nurmagomedov, because usually when a Nurmagomedov runs through the regionals of Russia, he's taking on debut fighters when he's 14-0. Khabib, we're looking at you. But Said has taken a different approach. He's jumped a bit further into the deep end, and that's where he lost his fight against Bibulatov, because that's what happens if you don't pad your record to 14-0 before you get to the UFC against complete fucking cans, Khabib. But that's okay. Said Nurmagomedov is dangerous. I think he's going to go out there, I know that this is... Why did I do this? It's like I don't want subscribers sometimes when I make videos, because I could just suck dick and get subs. You know what I mean? I could just suck these fighters' dicks and just say, oh, they're the best in the world, like everyone else in the MMA media. Oh, this guy's the best in the world. Okay, next week, who's this guy on the show? He's the best in the world. Next week, who's this guy on the show? Oh, one of the best in the world, honestly. I can't believe it. But still, Said Nurmagomedov, dangerous, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing how he does against Mark Striegel. Probably the best opponent of his career so far. But Mark Striegel, in my opinion, coming towards the end of his prime now, 32 years of age. He's beat some good opponents, but recently, and this is what I don't like, he has taken a back step. Like, he was signed with good promotions, 1FC, fought some good opponents in 1FC, 13-4. It's about it, really. Like, there's not really great opponents, 5-0 Casey Suer, but then once he left 1FC, he went right back to URRC and took on 6-9 debut fighter, 5-1, 32-22 to get his debut. Like, it's just, I don't like that he did this method of going about things to get his way in the UFC. So I don't like it. Okay, he's a very dangerous opponent. I don't think he's going to beat Said Nurmagomedov. I really don't. He's very dangerous. He hasn't been too active. He only fought in April of 2019, which is half a year on top of what Said Nurmagomedov has been out for. So I thought Said Nurmagomedov was inactive. Mark Striegel's been even more inactive. I think Said Nurmagomedov's going to go out there, get a unanimous decision win. It's going to be competitive because Mark Striegel's dangerous. So I don't actually know why Said is such a massive favourite here, but I guess they believe in the Nurmagomedov surname. I think he'll get the job done as well. I believe in him. Probably not going to put him in too many parlays unless there's loads of fighters in the parlay. But yeah, interesting. Odds are crazy. The odds are crazy. Just because his surname's Nurmagomedov, another guy's surname can be Zawada, and all of a sudden you're tapping in a triangle like a chicken. But still, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Said Nurmagomedov's dangerous. Mateusz Gamrot is dangerous. Jonathan Martinez is dangerous. And one more person. Why not? Let's just chuck a name out there. Maxim Grishin. Not really a guy to watch out for because I feel like we all know him. Do we all know Maxim Grishin by now? He's been around for a while. Like, we've kind of known him. Fought a PFL. I'm sure people know who Maxim Grishin is, but I'll include him at the end. He's fought great opponents, ran through the PFL competition. He's just a bit older, and I feel like everyone kind of knows who Maxim Grishin is by now. He's like one of the better guys outside of the UFC that we've been waiting for. So I'm looking forward to seeing his debut against Antigulov. Great opponent for his debut. Antigulov's no slouch, but is also kind of beatable for Maxim Grishin. Little bit late in his career, though. 36. Don't like it. Actually lost his debut to Tybura at heavyweight on short notice. Can't really blame him there. Tybura's looked amazing at heavyweight recently. I picked him to beat Rothwell, which looked amazing in hindsight. But still, I like Maxim Grishin. I think he's got an easier opponent here. And this is one of those... And this is weird. It's weird that this is how it works. But the UFC is not scouting the right talent so much that this is his easiest fight. The UFC debut should be your most difficult test. The baddest guy that you can face, because everyone should be elite in the UFC. But this is his easiest opponent out of his last 10. Honestly. He's fought better opponents with better records, with better wins on their resume in his past 10 fights than he has in his UFC debut. So fair play. I think he'll get the job done against Antigulov. He looked good against Tybura, even on short notice, to be fair to him. Like he did. I know he got beaten unanimously and it was a clear win for Tybura, but he had some moments in there on short notice. So I respect him. I think he'll get the jump on Antigulov, or we could have another Felipe Lins on our hands who runs through PFL and then just gets destroyed when he comes to the UFC. But as far as I'm aware, Grishin's not on roids. So yeah, he's not growing any breasts anytime soon. But still, the last hormone bender. But it's pretty interesting. I'm going to go with Grishin, of course. I just mentioned him. So of course I'm going to go with him. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. There were no uploads yesterday because I had no fucking internet. So now there's uploads. Toodle pip.